Hello everyone and welcome to this week's weekly worksheet, and this week we're tackling verbal reasoning. Specifically, we're going to be tackling hidden words and synonyms and antonyms. Okay, let's get right into it. So the first section is hidden words, and what you need to do is you read the sentence, and between two words, the end of the first word and the start of the next word, there's a word that's hidden, and it's a four-letter word, and it's our job to find what it is. So let's do question number one. Question number one. Avoiding drama requires plenty of maturity. This one, the hidden word, is between drama and requires. The word is mare, so the answer is option B. You might be wondering what a mare is. A mare is just the name of a female horse. The name of a male horse is called a stallion, if you're interested. Question number two. Jemima had roped her into playing. This one, the hidden word is between the words had and roped, so the answer is option B. And the four-letter word is the word drop, you can see here, as in you're dropping something on the floor. Question number three. This debate is about free basic education. The hidden word is between the words basic and education. And the word is iced. As in the adjective, something is iced, like iced coffee, for example. The answer is option E. Question number four. Do you believe in supernatural beings? The answer for this one is between the words believe and in. So the answer is option C. The four-letter word is vein, V-E-I-N. And a vein, if you're wondering, is a blood vessel. It's what carries blood around your body. That's called a vein. Question number five. They escorted the lost lad to safety. The answer for this one is between the words they and escorted, so the answer is option A. And the four-letter word is eyes, E-Y-E-S. Answer is option A. Number six. Brent Reservoir is definitely the prettiest. The answer is option B, so it's between the words reservoir and iris. So reservoir and is, which makes the word iris, and iris is just a part of your eye. Okay, iris. Question number 7. I love the taste of sage stuffing. The answer for this one is between the words stage and stuffing, so the answer is option E. And the four-letter word is ages, meaning taking a long time. Something's taking ages. Question number 8. A riddle a day maintains acuity, and the answer is between the word a and riddle, because the word is arid. And if something is arid, it means something is very dry, okay? And usually you use it to describe climate or land. So for example, land which hasn't had a lot of rain on it for a long, long time, you might describe it as arid. So you can say arid land. Land. And you might be wondering what acuity is. Acuity is just another word for mental sharpness. So if you're mentally quite sharp, that's what acuity is. Alrighty, so the next section we're going to be tackling synonyms, or in other words, closest meanings, and we need to find one word from each group that are most similar in meaning. So let's get straight into it. Question number 9. Dog pet domesticated, stroke home animal. The similar words here is pet and stroke, because both of these are verbs and they mean to gently touch something. So you might pet an animal, for example. So the answer is option D. And let's just eliminate the other options. So let's look at A, domesticated, and stroke. Well, the first telltale clue is domesticated. That's an adjective, right? It's an adjective. You can describe something as domesticated. But stroke, that is a verb. So because they're different word classes, you know that it can't be A. But if you're wondering what domesticated means tame. So for example, dogs have been domesticated because they're tame and they're no longer wild. B, dog and animal. Well, it's not this because dog is an animal, but an animal isn't a dog. So this is classic. They're trying to trick you. They give you a group, then a subgroup, because dog is part of the group animal, but they're not similar meanings. C, domesticated and home. Remember, domesticated means tame and is an adjective, whereas home is a noun and it doesn't mean tame. And pet and animal, again, same reason for option B. You know, an animal can be a pet, but a pet can't be an animal. It's one belongs to the group of the other. They're not synonyms in this case. So answer is option D. Number 10, similar, new, synchronous, bold, concurrent, courageous. The answer is synchronous and concurrent because both of these are adjectives and they mean happening at the same time. Happening at the same time. So for example, in the Olympics, you have synchronous swimming, and that's essentially athletes, they swim together and do acrobatics and tricks and a performance where they're swimming and doing things at the same time, and it's quite fun to watch. Synchronous and concurrent. So the answer is option A. Let's eliminate some of the other ones. So it's not B because similar means same, and courageous means brave. If you don't know, courageous means brave. Okay, so they don't mean the same thing. Synchronous and courageous. To explain, courageous means brave, synchronous means happening at the same time. New and bold, it's not that. They are both adjectives, but bold means you're brave. So similar to courageous, okay? And synchronous and bold, we've explained all the meanings here. They don't mean the same thing. So question 10, the answer is option A. Question 11, boot, run, step, feet, footwear, pace. The answer is step and pace. The answer is option B. Because both of these are nouns, you can take a step, and both of these basically means a single step taken when you're walking or you're running. Okay, so you can step forward a pace, you can go forward a pace, or you can step forward. They both mean the same thing. Go forward a step, yeah. Okay, to eliminate the other options, A, well, boot and footwear, it's not this because boot belongs to the group footwear, but they're not actually synonyms. Boot is a type of footwear, but footwear is not a type of boot. You can kind of think of it as like that. Runner and pace, not this, they just don't mean the same thing. Remember, pace means a single step, but runner, it's a noun, but it doesn't mean that a runner is a person who runs. Step and feet, clearly not the same. Feet is a noun, you find it on the end of your legs. Step is obviously not that. And step and footwear, clearly they're not the same either, because footwear is clothing that you wear on your feet, whereas step is not that. So the answer is option B. Question number 12, tune, musical, sing, classical, chords, melody. The answer for this one is tune and melody, so the answer is option D. And that's because tune and melody, they are both nouns, and they mean part of a song. Okay, so you can sing a tune, you can sing a melody, basically part of a song. Okay, let's eliminate the other options. Tune and chords, yes, both of these are nouns, but tune, again, it means part of a song. And chords, it's not part of a song. Chord is it's a combination of notes that you can play that makes a sound, okay? It's not quite a tune, but lots of chords together, you might make a tune. Okay. B, musical and classical. No, musical means there's an adjective. Musical means you have a affinity to music, tendency to relating to music. And classical, although you can have classical music, classical just means traditional. Okay, like traditional. So classical music kind of means traditional music. So not similar there. And C, musical and chords. Not that. Musical means relating to music, and chords we've explained it before. And the final one, sing and melody. Well, sing is a verb, melody is a noun. So these ones can't be similar words because they need to be the same word class. Okay, so the answer is option D. Question 13. Knife, bowl, dinner, dish, cutlery, food. The answer is bowl and dish, so it's option E. And that's because both of these are nouns, and they are basically a flat bottom container, and you can use it for cooking or serving food. Use for cooking or serving food. And let's just eliminate the others. So dinner and food, they're not similar because dinner is specifically food that you eat in the evening time, whereas food doesn't necessarily mean dinner. Food is just things you can eat, not necessarily at a given time. Knife and cutlery is not this. This is a classic. They give you an item within the group. So knife is a type of cutlery, but they're not similar words, right? You can't interchangeably use knife for cutlery. Bowl and cutlery, not quite. Cutlery, if you're wondering, is basically utensils that you use to eat your food. So, your knife, spoon, fork. If you want to collectively name those things, we call them cutlery, okay? And dinner and dish. Oh, it's not either, because dinner, food you eat at, in evening time, and dish is a container used for cooking. But also you can say a dish is like a meal, so you can say, oh, that's a very tasty dish. But it doesn't necessarily mean dinner, because, you can have a dish at any time of the day, not necessarily dinner. So that's why the answer is not D. So the answer is option E. Question 14. Insect, crawl, squirm, writhe, spider, arachnid. The answer is squirm and writhe, because both of these are verbs, they're doing words, and they mean to make a twisting motion with your body. So for example, if you see something disgusting, your body might shake in disgust. That's kind of what squirming is that twisting motion of your body. So the answer is option C. We can eliminate the others because insect and spider, they're not similar things. Insect, first of all, has 6 legs. Spider has 8. Spider is a type of arachnid. Crawl and arachnid, no. If you're wondering what arachnid is the word used to describe the group of animals that have 8 legs and are like spiders, basically. Crawl, additionally, is a verb, right? It's a doing word, whereas arachnid is a noun. So those can't be similar words because they're different word classes. D, crawl and writhe. They're both verbs, but crawl doesn't mean writhe. Crawl is a movement, whereas writhe is more, you're not moving, you're making a twisting motion with your body. So they are both verbs, but they don't quite mean the same thing. And E, insect and arachnid, they're not similar words. They are, yes, groups of animals, but they are not similar. They are different types of animal. Insect, first of all, has 6 legs. Arachnid has 8, so they're different, not synonyms, okay? All right, on to the next section. We're tackling words that are opposite in meaning, starting with question number 15. So, ambitious, boundless, constrained, limited, restrict, and closed. The answer is boundless and limited, and that's because boundless means unlimited. So for example, you can have boundless fun at the beach. That means you can have unlimited fun at the beach. So the answer is A. Now let's just eliminate some of the other ones. Constrained and restrict. Well, constrained and restrict kind of mean the same thing. Constrained means like you're overly controlled. Overly controlled. And restrict means the same thing, when you don't have freedom. Remember, this is the opposite section, so we don't want words that mean the same thing. We want words that are opposite. Ambitious and limited. Ambitious means you have lots of ambition, and ambition means you have lots of goals. So you have the desire to do lots and lots. So it's an adjective. So you can describe someone as being ambitious if they have lots of goals. Whereas limited means you have some limits, and it doesn't quite mean the opposite of ambitious. Ambitious means you have lots of goals, whereas limited just means there is a limit. So not quite opposites. D, constrained and enclosed. They're quite similar. Constrained, like I said, means overly controlled. Enclosed means something that is surrounded. But also enclose is a verb. You can enclose something, but constrained is an adjective. So those can't be opposites because they need to be the same word class. And same logic goes for E. Boundless is an adjective, like boundless fun, but restrict, you can restrict something, is a verb. So those can't be opposites. Okay, so you can use that trick to eliminate some of the options. So answer for number 15 is A. Number 16, ingenious, authentic, replicate, original, fake, lie. The answer is authentic is opposite to fake. Because authentic, if something's authentic, it means it's real and original. Okay, it's the real deal. Whereas fake obviously means it's not the original. Okay, so the answer for number 16 is C, authentic and fake. Let's eliminate some of the options. So authentic and original, they kind of mean the same thing. Replicate and original. Well, first of all, replicate, it's a verb. And replicate means to make a copy. And original is not a verb. Original is an adjective. So those can't be the same because they're not the same word class. A D, replicate and lie. Well, replicate means to make a copy, whereas lie means to not tell the truth. So there's, though they're not opposites, just from the meaning. Ingenious and original. Ingenious means very clever. If you don't know, ingenious means clever, which is not the opposite of original. Okay, so number 16, the answer is C. Number 17, small, concise, extensive, paragraph, lengthy, summary. The opposites are concise and lengthy, and you might be wondering what concise is. Concise is an adjective, and it means short and to the point. So, for example, if you're making an argument, it's preferable to make a concise argument. So you make an argument that's to the point. You don't want to be rambling everywhere and talking for ages. You want to make your point very clearly and very briefly, okay? Whereas lengthy is the opposite. Lengthy means you're talking at length. Both of them are adjectives. Lengthy means you're not brief and concise. You talk and you ramble for ages. So the answer for number 17 is concise and lengthy. Those are the opposites. But let's eliminate some of the others. A, concise and paragraph. It's not this because concise is an adjective. Paragraph is a noun, so those can't be opposite words. Small and paragraph, same reason. Small is an adjective, paragraph is a noun. Small and lengthy. Well, lengthy means, long, but small is not the correct antonym. Short would be right, but the opposite of small is big or large, not lengthy, okay? So don't get tricked out. And then E, extensive and summarize. Well, extensive is an adjective, which means very long and thorough. But summarize, you can summarize something as a verb. So these ones can't be, they can't be opposite. So the answer for number 17 is option D. Number 18, crumble, debilitate, fall, strengthen, build, weaken. Right, so this one, the answer is debilitate and strengthen. You might be wondering what debilitate means. Debilitate. And that means to make someone very weak. To make someone very weak. So for example, at old age, people may become debilitated, which means they become very weak because, as you grow older, certain things of your body starts to function less well than they used to when you were younger, and eventually you might become debilitated, okay? Whereas strengthen is the opposite. Strengthen means to make stronger, which is the opposite to make weaker, which is what debilitate means. So the answer is debilitate and strengthen, which is option E. Let's eliminate some. Debilitate and weaken. It can't be right because these are synonyms, not antonyms. Crumble and built. Well, crumble is a verb, which means to break into pieces, whereas built is an adjective. So like a built area, that means there are lots of buildings or constructions there. See, fall and strengthen they're not quite opposites. Strengthen means to make stronger, whereas fall, it doesn't really mean to make less strong. And D, crumble and weaken. Well, these are near antonyms, but not quite antonyms. So crumble means to break into... So they're not even antonyms, they're synonyms, not antonyms. Crumble means to break into pieces, and weaken means to get less strong. So they are not antonyms. So the answer is debilitate and strengthen. Number 19, eccentric, interesting, normal, shy, indescribable, ordinary. The answer is eccentric and ordinary. And that's because eccentric and ordinary, they are both adjectives, okay, describing words. Eccentric essentially means strange and unusual. So if an eccentric person is definitely not ordinary, they have some unusual behavior about them. Okay, so the answer is option C, eccentric and ordinary. Let's go through the other options. So interesting and shy, those are not opposites. Interesting means something that causes interest, whereas shy means not very, outspoken or, yeah, I'm sure most people know what shy means. B, normal and ordinary, those kind of mean the same thing. Those are synonyms, but remember we're in the antonym section. D, interesting and indescribable. Interesting means something, it's a describing word which you can describe something that causes interest. Whereas indescribable means it's something so out of the ordinary that you can't put words together to describe it. So those are not the opposites. And E, eccentric and shy. Eccentric, again, it more means that it's something strange and unordinary. It doesn't quite mean the opposite of shy. They're near antonyms, but eccentric and ordinary are better suited in this case. So the answer is eccentric and ordinary. Number 20, enlarge, colossal, measure, tiny, life size, humongous. All right, the answer is colossal and tiny, and that's because colossal means extremely large. Not just large, extremely large. You can use this word in your creative writings. It's a very good word to use, colossal. Okay, so the answer is C. Just to eliminate some of the other ones, colossal and humongous, both of them mean the same thing, which means extremely large. Remember, we're in the antonym section, so we want opposites. Enlarge and tiny, not quite. You might think enlarge means large, but enlarge is actually a verb. Tiny is an adjective. And enlarge means to make something bigger. To make something bigger. So it's not an adjective, okay? So don't get tricked out. D, measure and life size. It's not this because measure, it's a doing word, verb. Can also be a noun. When life size is an adjective. So verb, adjective, those can't be opposite because they need to be the same word class for them to be opposite. And enlarge, for similar reason, enlarge is a verb, which means to make bigger. Life size means, it is life size, and that's an adjective. So the answer for question number 20 is C. All right, so that was this week's weekly worksheet, verbal reasoning. We really hope you enjoyed this one. Remember, look in the description below. We release worksheets every fortnight with video solutions. Exam happy. Please do register if you want more 11+ material. Thank you and have a great week.